Oh my god, we got a big noise because we're playing the music. You can pause it. Leo from Orchard Audio can pause it.
Hi.
Anyway, this is the second time we're filming this because the card freaked out the first time. Only honesty here on Z Reviews. Leo,
We make streamers with built-in DACs. We also make amplifiers.
And you guys might recognize this logo from my channel because I happen to have the little baby version of this, which is the Star Crimson monoblocks. This is the Ultra. And the Ultra, well, give me the specs. Read me this. Just say them. You know what they are.
It's 500 watts into 4 ohms, and the distortion at rated power is less than 0.01%, and it's extremely low distortion, extremely low noise.
Yeah, no. So the monoblocks that I pull out, if I ever pull out the RB42s, which you all know the RB42s, actually, if I pull out any speaker, any passive speaker in my house, it used to be I had a choice. I have those vintage Marantz monoblocks. I've got those big tube monoblocks that were sent to me. I've got my father's vintage Pioneer, and then maybe the Crown amp. No. Once this man's amplifiers arrived, that's the only thing I test speakers on. Because they're dumb. It's like, it literally is like, oh, that's what's possible. So that's what I was doing it on. Now, we're here at his Rockaway, New Jersey listening room, which is a work in progress because I think it needs artwork. Get some artwork on the walls. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, sort of things like that. But he's got right now his Ultra and an Onkyo CD player and the little... it's a pecan pie. I get it. I didn't realize the name of it. It's called the pecan pie. See the streamer? It's $800. And it gives you, actually, what is on the back of that? RCA, balanced XLR outs, power, networking, and what is this? That's the
SPDIF from the CD player.
So it's got SPDIF, and then you've got multiple So what is a USB? Just hosting. What could you do with the USB outs on that or ins?
Yeah, so if you get the streamer with Volumio, you could plug, flash drives in there. You could also plug in a USB CD player if you wanted to do that instead of the SPDIF.
So you've basically made it so that, because here's the thing, that's a digital volume knob in the front that controls what's happening from Curler running Rune off of a tablet. He's got a little laptop in the corner, just sitting there, just not even on. Oh, wish this camera would tilt when I ask it to tilt. In fact, we're going to swap it so I can tilt. It's got a little laptop there, just doing its own thing. And that is just sending the signals to this. And so is the laptop talking to the tablet? Wait, what's talking? How is the room configuration in this working? Is the streamer handling everything?
No, the laptop is handling everything. The laptop just sends data to the streamer, and the iPad is just being used as a control.
Okay, so that's how this is working. So this thing is just sitting here on whatever Wi-Fi it feels like, just getting magic music from the internet. And it's feeding out analog to the Ultra. And the Ultra is pushing to these speakers, which you actually had custom made for you, right?
Yeah.
You can tell that story.
Yeah, these speakers are made by Soundfield Audio. They're a company in Florida. I met them at Florida Audio Fest last year, and they normally make active speakers. But they made these custom speakers fully passive just for the room that I was in. And people loved them so much that Soundfield Audio agreed to make basically a copy of these speakers for anybody who wanted, fully passive version.
So this is supposed to be an active speaker. It's a 3-way. You've got a soft dome? Got a soft dome tweeter in a very, very nice rolled surround mid-range with a 7-inch, 7 or 8? 8. That's an 8-inch, but it's a sealed box. So there's impressive because it claims 35 hertz, and I've heard it do it. So you got a 35 hertz, 8-inch, 3-way. And what's the price on these?
$2,300 per pair.
And that's without the amps?
Without the amps.
You know what it is with the amps?
No, I don't.
Let's just assume more. But you wouldn't want them with the amps anyway, because you want to get it with the Star Crimson from Orchard Audio. So basically, this beautiful little room, you get the cute couch. Looks like Married with Children couch. If you want to come visit, I'll be here a lot. So you've got the streamer controlling everything coming out of there. going into the amplifier. And actually, you've got Rune doing a room correction, which we've turned off recently because I brought a guest. And now Leo says that hooking up headphones to a 500 watt per channel amplifier is not advised and you shouldn't do it. I don't listen to people, so we're going to do it before the end of this video. But yeah, I've been sitting here listening to these things now for like an hour. And room correction on, room correction off. I know one thing. You know what you need to... Here's what Leo sells. Leo, I'll tell you what you sell. Because some people don't know what they sell. I know what people sell. I'll tell you what you're selling. You're selling, I don't have to worry about it to people. Like, what's the weakest link in your system? And it says, is it the source? Is it the DAC? It's not the amplification. That's what Leo sells. Leo sells a spec sheet that says you have no distortion and you have this much power. Don't worry about it. And that's why I love the little monoblocks. Because I don't have to worry about it. I don't know if the limiting factor when I'm listening to a speaker, if I was to assess this speaker, yes, obviously the room makes a huge difference. We've got some GIK acoustics. GIK or JIK?
I don't know. I say GIK.
Yeah, I think people want to spell it out. I refuse. I absolutely, I will not. If I could say your word like a word, that's how it's getting said. You're getting worded. So I know from this amplifier, from me using the little baby versions of this, which are now being sent to me with the new GON power supplies, which are 300 watt instead of
250.
So that's just oh god. So now that I have that coming, that'll be back to my assessment. And what's not pictured here, because he just hasn't built another one to have it extra, is you now got something called the Duo. It's either Duo or Trio, right?
Correct.
Which is, imagine a half height one of these. Half height or slightly small?
Half height, yeah, because this is a 2U and the Duo is a 1U.
Do you actually sell them with the rack mount ears? Can you get the rack mount ears for that?
Yeah, if people contact me, I could make them rack mount.
Oh, I can make them rack mount. I love rack. I know people who are watching this love rack mount. Anyway, so that's under 3,000 for 500 watts. The Duo is basically two of the little monoblocks with slightly lesser power supplies in a single chassis, so you don't have to deal with 7 things on the ground like I do. And the price of that is
$1,750, but currently on sale for $1,350.
Go now. Go now. We'll know when this is coming out, but go now. $1,350 for the monoblock versions. So are they still rated to 150? Or
They're still rated to 150. Yeah.
They're still rated to 150. They just don't have the bigger power supplies built into the single box. Under 1,500. And where is all this made? What part of China is this made?
It's not made in China. It's made in the U.S. and Canada.
Canada,
Mostly in the US.
Canada is basically the China of the U.S. All right, if they're our hat. We love you, Canada. But so yeah, completely North American made, and then put together by you and an employee. So how many? Wait, what's the total size of your company?
1.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I have.
If you count your other employee, he's a person too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're contractors, but yeah, I used to build everything myself, but I ran out of, time, and.
Sound like someone we know. Anyway, yes.
So yeah, I have another person that I contract to build the Ultra and the Duo amps. I still make the monoblocks myself, actually.
See, I mean, I've taken them apart. They're not complicated, but they're still like, there's so much going on in that little package. So yeah, so basically I'm here just to try out, because this is like relatively in my near field. Are you going to, so what are the audio shows you're going to be at next? Because this might come out before then. So you said you were going to do Florida.
I'm doing Florida and doing Expona. And some of my amps may be in Montreal, but I won't.
Yeah, so that, and keep an eye out for Princess Pasta and her coverage. I'll send her to whatever rooms they have them. Because here's the problem. Let me tell you this man's problem. Too cheap. It's the same. It's here's the thing. It's the same as the Tungsten. They're so good, and they're so affordable. And let me tell you, I've been to these shows. A $3,000, even the highest top of the line with more power supply and the bigger capacitors. What's the upgrade for the Ultra? The Ultra is just
so this is the base model. It's 1 power supply and 2 amplifier modules, and then the upgraded model, which I call the DMC, and DMC stands for dual mono with capacitors.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically one power supply per channel. It's basically like 2 monoblocks inside of a chassis.
Yeah, so he's putting, so even at $4,000 for the Ultra version of the Ultra, you should call it the Ultra. Ultra is the way to go. That is like, people drop that money in the couches at Axponas and Florida Audio Expos and Capital Audio Fests. So these could power every speaker that they show at any of these shows. 500 watts is about the line, I think, that anyone really in hi-fi needs to go. Especially if you could just, separate it out, treble and bass, and then you could have 2 of these stacked on top of each other. Even if you've got the only the Ultra, not the Ultra, that's like $5,500 to have 1,000 watts per channel. That's clean to 1,000 watts per channel. So the problem is it's too cheap. He needs to charge more. So you start charging more, and then audiophiles of that caliber will start paying attention. I told him just gold plate it. I think gold plating, get a jeweler, have them encrust like a dolphin into the front of it. Oh, you have the beautiful, actually, wait a second. You've got the beautiful tree logo here. Just actually have them fill in those fruits with rubies. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if those were rubies, then people would, because you gotta trick overly rich audiophiles into getting the good stuff. I'm okay with this theory. This is a good enough amplifier to run everything at every audio show ever in the history of mankind. But it's so affordable that they poo-poo it. Just like these speakers are freaking amazing. And they're $2,200. So if you put that on a sign and outside a door at like Capital Audio Fest, people are like, nah, no. I want to look at the real speakers. They call the real speakers the $10,000, the $20,000 speakers. Or in the case over there was a couple $160,000 speakers. Did you hear those?
No, but yeah, there was a couple of rooms that were like $1 million.
Yeah, there was a couple $1 million rooms. And I guarantee you could take this streamer and this amplifier, maybe not that CD player, and vary it up with a couple different speakers and subwoofers and integrate it all together and have a room just as good. I have a question actually I'm going to ask you live. For the Pecan Pi, the outputs, the RCA and the XLR, are they together? They're latched together, or can you separate them and adjust sort of like if you needed to I'm thinking for subwoofer reasons.
They're active at the same time, but they're not adjustable.
They're not adjustable, so that you'd have to tweak the subwoofer from the RCA, from the inputs, and then just have it go up and down with. So I guess that would work. It could still work. So yeah, expect a review, hopefully, of at least the Duo. I'm going to come here and borrow a Duo. And actually, you make it a trio. We forgot to mention that. The trio is 3 amplifiers. Front, right, left, and center, which would be great for anyone who's doing really serious home audio stuff or home theater stuff.
Yeah. The front 3 channels, or like the center and the surround, something like that.
Yeah. No, it would be ideally. You don't make a quad, do you?
No.
Damn it. Next year, quad. Actually, how many could you legitimately fit if you got a larger cabinet before like the power supply just becomes too big?
Probably like 8.
There you go. 8-channel Stark Rudinson Ultra, just all 8.
No, that would be the 150 watt ones. I don't think they could fit 8. 8 Ultras.
He doesn't believe in himself. I believe in you, Leo. Yeah. So yeah, no. The point is, this is probably one of the best amplifiers you can buy. Maybe you know what? It probably is the best amplifier, certainly for the money. I don't think I know of a single other amplifier. And you can get the Purify ones that sort of sit out, but they're like an incomplete thing. They're more of a project amplifier. And this is an actual thing with an actual facade and fascia and logo and a power button with a blue. All right, I have a real question. Can I make the blue LED not blue?
No.
It's game over. It's game over. If I ordered...
I could get the buttons in a different color.
There you go. So you can get a different colored button so that when it's on, it's not blue. Just charge extra for that, like $100. $100? I would pay $100 not to have.
Also disconnect the light from the button.
No, that's not the same. Not the same. Anyway,
yeah.
So what we're gonna do now? I'm gonna put back on some music, listen a little bit more. But actually, the real question is, what happens when you wire up a tungsten to an incredibly powerful 500 watt perfect amplifier? Let's find out. So we've got Marvin Bebop from Alan Silvestri from Thing. And so you're not a headphone guy. You're a speaker guy. And I'm kind of forced to be both of those things. And then I'm talking to him about the headphones and how they're working on his amplifier, because he's like, you know, it's not really rated for 150 ohm planar. I'm looking at the screen and not the thing. Sorry, I have to look up here now. It's not really rated for 150 ohm planar, but it works. And it's actually working with only a 9 decibel headroom on the player, and then whatever, I've got the volume knob down a little bit. So I could probably blow them up. But it's also, you don't actually know what the rated power is coming out of it at 150 ohm load, because it's not a normal thing to test with.
It's easy to calculate. It's basically 2,000 divided by 150, whatever that comes out to be.
Hold on, wait. I have the internet. And I'm too lazy to type it, so we'll do this together. Hey, Google.
Yeah.
2,000 divided by 150.
A little bit less than 20.
2,000 divided by 150
13.
is approximately 13.33.
Oh, it didn't say the full threes. So that's 13 watts per channel that's going into these headphones now.
Yeah. If you fully blast it, it'll be...
I think we can handle it. But I was going to bring up a point and tell it to him without the camera on. I'm like, no. That's not how we do this here. His amplifier is designed to be flat and neutral and capable of anything. And Ryan's headphones, the tungstens, especially the double-sided, are designed to be flat and neutral and capable of anything. So what's actually missing from this is a little bit of that, like, the warmth, the Class A warmth, the tube warmth, which you would add. So what I would do with, like, the Stark Grimsons, and what I actually did do, was I hooked up a Class A preamp, and you could hook up a tube preamp. You could hook up something that's got, you know, a flavor to it, and then you push it with the immense power and perfection that is an Orchard Audio product, and that's when the magic happens. There are neutral people. There are people out there who just live and die off neutrality. They just want to hear the most neutral thing, neutral, and they're happy. And while I can respect that, I still want to taste things. I want it to be a little more low on, a little more warmth, a little more width. So what you do is you get an Orchard Audio. In fact, I would recommend that for this testing room. You want to hear it off a clean preamp, and then boom, even if you just had a cheap tube thing, we just had a pass through of the RCAs from one to the other. So you don't have the ability to switch inputs on the amplifier though, right? It's just...
Yeah, it's one input.
It's one input. Yeah. So you'd have to get something that just switched it across. And then you could be like, here is the most powerful, cleanest amplifier available with the most clean sample ever. And then here it is now being added with a little bit of vanilla syrup. Vanilla syrup? Chocolate syrup. I would never do vanilla syrup. A little bit of cherries on top.
A lot of my customers do use the amp with the, what is it? Shit Freya?
Freya? Yeah. That's exactly the thing. Is that once you have the most capable, powerful amplifier you'd ever need, then you got to step back and start dealing with the other parts of the signal that you might want to use to color it. Because if your speakers are happy and you're perfect, and your amplifier is happy and you're perfect, then you got to either find better music that you enjoy more, or break something in the middle. Because I think if you had perfect Genelecs being powered by perfect amplification, being sent from a song that was recorded in an anechoic chamber, I'd fall asleep to it. So my advice would be to go absolutely ham with something like this, powering something like this, but then preamp it with like a Black Ice Audio, the Fusion F360. In fact, I know Black Ice. They're not far from here, and I bet you they have a loaner they could loan you. And it even has remote control. And then you could use that as the preamp into this and be like, hold on, you want to hear something wild? Boom. Because they have tube amps. They only sell tube amps. They don't do solid state.
Yeah.
He knows everything about Black Ice. I know everything about Black Ice. But an F360 here, just preamping into like this speaker, so you have the convolution filters to correct the speakers, and then slap on some tube warmth with that amount of power, and it would just be the end of days. So I'm going to go back to listening to these for a little bit longer, because when you don't listen to Mod House Tungstens, your brain falls out of your head. And I want to thank Leo for letting me hang out over here. And you're here, this part of Rockaway, New Jersey. Link in the description. Once a month, you said you're doing open houses usually?
Yeah, I'm going to do open houses once a month. And then you can also schedule a private listening session if you'd like to.
So if you'd like to end up on Leo's couch, which we laughed at. He's like, I had this couch forever. And I'm like, that's perfect. That is a real person's couch, everybody. All right? Pretentiousness doesn't live here. Only the best amplifiers live here. So if you want to hear this, you can bring your own speakers. There is a stairs you have to go up. Just a warning, if you're going to bring like towers, you're responsible for bringing whatever you want to this listening space. But he will at some point in the future have probably one of every one of your amplifiers to listen to. At least something that if you wanted to like really try it out. Right now it's just the Ultra, the base level Ultra. But in the future, expect a review from me of the Duo, at least the Duo. Maybe the Trio, if I want to do some home theater stuff. But and then the monoblocks, you still make the monoblocks by hand, so you can just during lunch put them together, just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. But yeah, no. So this space and these speakers, and you said you were going to get another pair of speakers, right? Were those the ones that you were going to add to this?
Most likely, it's going to be CSS audio speakers.
See, CSS I've not heard of. I'd have to look them up. But yeah, look at these awards. Do you see these? None of these. Except for, I don't understand what audio bacon is, but none of these are wrong. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Secrets 2023. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like getting people to hear this is the thing they need to do. And I'm going to thank Leo again. So come visit him in Rockaway, New Jersey. Maybe I'll set up so the next month. Well, this is Christmas. When you going to do one in December?
Yeah, I don't know the date yet.
Yeah, so maybe in December you guys will come out. We're going to hang out here. We're going to jam, and there's cookies. Wait. Holy crap. Everyone, there's so many cookies. Last little tidbit of information. I just asked Leo what his day job is, because currently it's not making amplifiers. He does these on the side on the weekends. That's why we're here once a month. He makes the electronics for satellites. So if you want to know what precision is in the environment, try shoving shit into space and having it not break for how many years?
At least 10.
At least 10. So yeah, I think he could handle making amplifiers. Anyway, thank you. By the way, best the tungstens have ever sounded. Ugh.